What's going on, YouTube fam? This is DK Bet here once again for another episode of Drawing with Dave during the Corona lockdown. Okay, so today we're going to get at it. We have two objects here that we're going to use circles basically to draw both of these objects, which happen to be a pear and an orange. I'm going to put some detail in, but I'll leave the majority for you and your imagination. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to start out with the two basic shapes, or rather two circles. I'm going to use my template here just because it makes it easier. If you don't have a template, like I said, you can use a top of a can, glass jar, top of a pot. I've used all of those things I'm mentioning. So I'm just telling you about things that I use that I know you can use for a circle, okay, if you don't have a compass. Okay, so what we're going to do is draw this first circle. Okay. We're going to draw another one on top of it. I'm going to put it at an angle a little bit. So I'm going to take a smaller circle, put it at the top. I'm going to angle it over this way a little bit. You can make yours straight up and down if you want. I'm going to show you why it doesn't really matter. And if it touches or it overlaps into the larger circle, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. I'm going to draw actually using the colors that I want here. Okay, so the basic shape of the pear is going to be smaller at the top. It's going to come around and larger at the base. Okay, so the particular one I'm using today is kind of like a Bartlett pear. So this pear is not round all the way around, right? One side's larger than the other one. It's off-centered. So we're going to try to do some of those things in here. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. Remember, your basic shapes are just a guide to get you to see how can I draw this object? How can I break it down so it make it simpler for my mind to look at this and work and be able to draw this object? Okay. So we're going to start out with a little valley in here. So in other words, a little dip, right? Little U shape. I'm going to come back out. Okay. We're going to go around the circle. And when we get to this point, okay, we're going to straighten that out. When we come down, we're going to meet the other circle, right? And I'm actually going to go outside of the circle. I don't want it so perfectly round. So you're going to see me just use the circle as a reference for how round the pear is. So I'm actually going to go outside of this because the Bartlett pear is not perfectly round, right? And I'm going to come back in showing a little bit of interest there, and I'm going to go to the bottom. Now, if you don't know what the bottom of your pear is, simply use your straight edge, could be a ruler, edge of a book, whatever you want, and draw a straight line right underneath that circle. Draw a straight line straight across. Don't make it heavy. Don't make it heavy, right? Meaning don't put too much pressure on the pencil. Just enough so you can see where the pear sits. Now in this area right here, I'm going to do another little dip. Okay, so I'm going to come around, I'm going to do another little dip there. And then once again, I'm going to go to the outside of that circle because I'm only using it as a guide. I'm going to go back up to the top. I'm going to make my pear uneven. So I'm going to go outside of the circle. I'm just going to follow it around, right? I'm going to go down, straight, okay? And then I'm going to go outside of the circle again, okay? I'm going to come around. I'm going to meet that line, bam. Now if yours doesn't come out like that, don't worry about it. We're not shooting for perfection here, just to get the basic shapes of the objects that we're drawing and utilizing the basic shapes, okay? Next thing I'm gonna do is put this stem in. So what I wanna do is, depending on how long I want my stem, I'm gonna make mine about 1.5 inches long. So I'll put a triangle here, right? Triangle. Now the triangle could be in any direction, right? But I'm using a triangle to actually point toward where I want my stem to end, which would be in this depressed area here, the area where we put the little U in. So I'll just draw a curve, right? Come to the other side of the U, draw another curve. Now this one, I'm gonna curve it a little bit more, okay? I'm gonna make it thinner as I go up toward the head of the stem, right? And I'm gonna take my brown. If you're using a pencil, don't worry about it. It's great because you can erase if you feel you made a mistake. So we're gonna utilize that square, that triangle, right? I'm gonna follow the shape of that triangle around, meet the line that I just drew. Bam, okay. The other side, I'm gonna do the same thing, all right? Bam. Wow, starting to look like a pear a little bit, huh? Next object I'm gonna draw is my orange. And once again, I'm going to utilize my stencil. Now if you have a top, let's say you have something that you can't see through. See if I can find something right quick, something that I can't see through. Show you that this works just the same. So if I didn't have a stencil, I could use something like this, came off a little gift top that I had, right? Top off a little gift box. Or this is a top from a coffee cup, right? So either one of these will work. I'm gonna use this one because it's a little larger, right? It's about as large as I want my orange. So I'm going to show you something about composition right quick. I have two items. So one of them, I'm not going to make them sitting side by side. So one's going to be a little bit closer to you than the other one, which means the other one behind it, you're not going to be able to see the whole thing. Unless you have x-ray eyes, then yes, you can. But Anyway, we're going to utilize the orange is going to be behind the pear, right? And because the orange is a little bit smaller, actually this one, okay, I can modify it later, right? I'm going to overlap these circles, right? So the one's going to go on top. So when I'm finished with these lines out, when I erase the circles, you'll see that the pear is sitting in front of the orange. The orange is going to be behind it, right? So that's why I'm not putting it side by side. I'm overlapping it. It's called overlapping, right? I'm going to put it behind. So say I did draw my whole circle, right? Let me show you how you can modify this. Let's say I did draw my whole circle, right? The circle portions that's on the inside, you can erase them, right? You can erase this, all of that. So you can see by just erasing it, now the object looks as though it is behind, one object is behind the other. And that's the effect that I want. So now we're going to draw the orange. Okay. You can place the orange I'm using, happens to be this navel orange. I'm going to use the back side. I think it's more interesting. So what I want to do is I want to put this stem or the flower left over from the orange growing, all right? I want to put it closer up here rather than dead center, because that looks a little uninteresting and sort of makes it look like an eye damn near, okay? But we're not going to put it there. We're going to put it up here. So in the previous video, I showed you how to draw this, basically just a little star, okay? So I'll come up about 3/4 of the way up, right? It doesn't have to be centered. It could be off to this side, or it could be off to that side, or it could be in the center. It depends on where you want it. But I'd like you to put it closer to the top, all right? It's going to show a different angle on that orange, okay? So we're going to draw one leg of the star, 2 legs of the star. This is going to be a 4-legged star, 3 legs of the star, and 4 legs of the star. Now, if you're beginning, you can break that down into triangles. You could put 4 triangles, all right? And then draw a line connecting all 4 of them. Then put a circle in the center, right? And another little circle in between. All right, so let's draw this one out. We're gonna get to the orange in the center, the outside, in a second. So I go over 1, right, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to draw a circle and another circle in the center, okay? Everything else can be erased, all right? And bam. What I'm going to do is put corresponding lines in to represent these little depressions in here from the flower of the orange as it grows out, all right? So on this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll put 5 lines in, okay? And remember, these lines are going to curve, okay? You're not going to put a straight line in here. A straight line looks like this. Straight, 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 straight. that doesn't show any volume, right? It doesn't show that the orange is round, doesn't show the shape. That's why you want to use these lines, and when you draw them at a curve, right? So this one up top, let me change here. It's going to curve to the left. This one here is going to curve out to the right, and you don't have to make these straight. It can be wiggly if you want, okay? Straight. Put another one in here. I'm gonna curve it around a little bit. And then this one here, I'm gonna curve around there, okay? Now for the orange itself, matter of fact, I think I'm gonna put another one in here because I don't like that empty space there, okay? And try to vary the length, right? Don't make them all the same length, you know, makes it boring too. So you can make one a little bit longer than the other one, like this one here is a little bit longer. And stretch them out. Remember, if you make them curve too much, right, it's showing that you have a very small area there where the orange, the top of it, curves in. Since you don't have that kind of orange, try to keep your lines at a large curve, not a small curve, right? Go out a little bit further. Now the orange itself is not round. So basically you can just have fun and play with the shape, right? I'm gonna take my orange here, big boy. I'm gonna go outside of that line because I don't like it being nice and round. I bring it out and back. And when I come up under here, this line, I'm going to flatten it out, okay? I'm going to flatten it out because the orange is actually sitting on the table, or the imaginary table, from the line that we have here. And then I could continue up because I have the other end. Okay, you notice I didn't go into the pear because the pear is sitting in front of the orange, and the orange itself being behind it, you can't see what is in front of the pear. It's like this. Here's the pear and here's the orange. Bam. Pear sits in front of the orange and you can't see this portion of my hand because the pear is covering it. That's how your picture should look, okay? So we'll go ahead and erase these lines. And we'll add a little bit more detail. Just a little bit more detail. So we'll start with the pear. Put some dots in. Don't want to overdo it, and I don't want to have too many in one area. All right. For the stem, I'll just the stem, I'll put another line here. Shows the top of the stem. And if you want, you can color that in. I won't color it in. I'm just giving you some ideas here. If you had a bruise or something on your pear, you can also put it in. Put a little wiggly line in. As you're coloring in, that'll be brown, showing that you have some type of little damage to the pear, something of that nature. All right, so as you're coloring it, you can add little brown spots in, you know, little brown spots. On the orange, and also add some dots, but what I'm gonna do is vary from little circles, all right, little half circles. Sometimes I'm gonna use dots, sometimes I'm gonna use circles, all right? You can vary the size of your circles. Since the orange has more dimples, I can add a lot more detail to the orange. Okay, so that's about it, man. That's all I have for today. You know, so I hope that you had fun drawing with me today. And I hope that you show back on tomorrow, right? Well, we'll sit down and we'll continue on with my Corona Lockdown series, free art drawing lessons, right? How to use basic shapes. Okay, so you guys have a good day. Be safe out there. Peace.